morning. Welcome back to the Gal for Kids show. This month's segment is going to be pretty abbreviated. We're just simply going to talk about the upcoming training that we have going on, and I'm going to take you through what we're going to do starting next week and over the 3 weeks of training. So I'm here by myself. I'm usually not here by myself, so my name is Shelley Haymaker. I am the director of the Hamilton County Gal CASA program. And we have been here in Hamilton County. We've had a presence since 1998. And our main duties, I guess, or the main reason why we're here is our program advocates for children when they are involved in the court system. And what that means and why we are doing the show on a monthly basis is so that we can get this information out to the public, so that the public can figure out who we are, what it is we do, and how the public can get involved. So one way that the public can get involved, if you've ever had any interest in being an advocate for children within our court system, our second training of the year is going to start next week on Monday night. It starts on October 24th, and it will conclude on November 10th. We do not meet every single night during those 3 weeks, but we have a schedule where we meet. The first week we have 4 nights that we're meeting. The second week we have 2 nights that we're meeting, and the third week we have 3 nights that we're meeting. For the full schedule, you can go to our Facebook page if you have it, which is at Hamilton County Gal CASA program, and our full schedule is included on our Facebook page. You can also go to our website, which I believe is either going to be included or will be included on the screen. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see distance.
It is.
So you can go to our website and get the full schedule, and it'll tell you the dates and the times. The schedule that we provide, we call it cumulative, which means you need to be available for each one of these nights for training, because we build upon the concepts from the very first night through the end of training, so that you, hopefully by November 10th, you have a much better idea of what it means to be a Gal CASA, what all your duties are going to be involved, how often you're going to be in court, if you're going to be in court, if you have to be in court, what do you have to do, are you represented by an attorney, do you have to do all your paperwork by yourself. All kinds of questions like that will be answered during the 3 weeks of training. And to become a volunteer, you have to go through 32 hours of training. So that's why this builds on each other. It is not where you can sign up for 1 or 2 nights. It is where you need to be present for all of the nights. Occasionally I have people ask me, what if I can't be there one of the nights? A lot of times we can work with you on that if you're not going to be missing very many of the nights. If you're going to be missing too many of the nights, however, then you need to probably not go through training this time around, but hit us in early 2017 for the next training. I want to talk to you a little bit about what we're going to do when we do go through the training, just so that you have an idea. I've been the director of this program since January of 2001. So I have done lots of these trainings. I have never missed the first night of training until Monday. Monday I will be missing the very first night of training, I think, for the first time, but I have to be out of county for a different court case and I won't be able to make it back in time. But the first night of training, when you come, it'll basically be one of our Gal attorney staff will be there. Her name is Addie Wood. She will go through the room as far as who all's there and get an idea of who you are and what you do and how you heard about us and how you came to want to be a volunteer advocate for children. And then she will start going through some chapter work with you. We have a national CASA. National CASA oversees all of the various programs through all of the states. And National CASA has provided some materials for training, and we will be going through those materials as we go through the course of the 3 weeks. So that very first night, then Addie will go through with you as far as some of the chapter work. I will join you on Tuesday, and we will go through the normal stuff that we would have gone through the first night. And I will make you repeat once again who all you are and what did you do and how did you find us, because I want to know as the director how you came to our program. And then we will go through various items of sort of homework that you have to do, filling out an application, filling out a criminal background check, filling out a DCS background check. We'll talk about what our mission is. We'll talk about what our program standards are. We'll talk about an introduction to our court system and how to read a cause number and all sorts of ways and how to get a hold of people and their contact information. And then we will go through some of the Chapter 2 of the National CASA Manual that I talked about. On Wednesday, October 26th, Addie's going to come back and join you, hopefully, and she's going to go through more chapters. And I know going through chapters probably doesn't sound real exciting, but we do have a way, we try to make training a little bit more exciting than it probably sounds. But as we go through chapters, we're not just reading, obviously we're not going to sit and read the chapters to you, but we do highlight certain things that come out in the chapters. And we all have war stories that we add. So as we're going through training and a certain concept we're going to talk about through the training, then we usually have some sort of an anecdote or story or something that we've gone through in the program that we can add to that. So that's sort of how we incorporate our training. We incorporate the book work along with real life stories so that you have a better understanding of how these concepts that come out of the book really work in our program. Then on Thursday, October 27th, we are going to be meeting with juvenile probation, and we will be meeting that night at the Juvenile Detention Center. And we're going to meet with a juvenile prosecutor and a juvenile probation officer, and we're going to talk about juvenile delinquency work and how, being a guardian ad litem CASA, you can help in that way. So sometimes we need a lot of help. We have a lot of juveniles that are getting in trouble. Unfortunately, we have a lot of juveniles that get in trouble because they have a lot of mental health issues that we have to watch out for, or the parents have a lot of mental health issues. So we have kids going out and getting in delinquency trouble when really they have an underlying mental health issue with themselves or in their family. So you will learn how to work with the probation and the prosecutor that night, and you will meet some of them so that you have a better understanding of what our juvenile delinquency system is like here in Hamilton County and how we can also advocate for kids in that system. Then we'll take a break, and we will see you then the following Tuesday, November 1st. And that night, you're going to meet some caseworkers from the Department of Child Services. The Department of Child Services is who we mainly deal with through a lot of our work and through who you would mainly deal with if you come and advocate with us. And the department will go through with you how a case comes into their department and how they're screened and what does it mean to when a case is going to be worked by somebody, and what does a case manager do and what does an assessor do. And they'll go through all of that with you that night, so you kind of have a good understanding. We work very well with our Department of Child Services here. That doesn't mean we always agree with them. So we all have a job to do. Our job is different than the caseworker from the Department of Child Services. So although we have a very good working relationship with them, sometimes we have to take a different stance in what we believe is in the best interest of a child versus maybe what they are advocating for. But that's how our system works. And so it's good to meet the caseworkers, it's good to meet the supervisors, whoever's coming out with us, and it's good to hear how we can work together in trying to help get to whatever is the best interest for the child. So then we're going to come back together on November 3rd, and Miss Cassie Nelson, she's another one of the or program attorneys that would represent you in court. She's going to come train with you, and we're going to come back to some more chapter work. And by that night, on Thursday, November 3rd, we should be through most of the National CASA Manual. So we have two manuals that we build on. We have the National CASA Manual that we go through, and then we build you sort of another manual that gives you different forms, different reports, different things that are not going to be included in the National CASA Manual. So you'll kind of leave with a lot of paperwork, but you'll have a lot of resources at your hand when you leave us. And then that would conclude that second week. And the third week, when we come back together on Monday, November 7th, Then we really talk about the nuts and bolts about what we do as far as interviewing people and investigating a case, and how do we write our reports, because our written reports are very important for the court and for the case. And then we're going to talk about court participation, what happens if you have to be called as a witness, where do you sit when you go to court, do you talk, does your attorney talk for you? We'll talk through all of that on that November 7th. Wednesday, November 9th, we're actually going to go to the courthouse and we're going to meet with Magistrate Reitz. Magistrate Todd Reitz is the magistrate judge who hears the majority of all of the types of cases that you would be advocating for. He hears cases for Superior Court 1 and he hears cases for Circuit. And those are the two courts where all of our juvenile cases are filed in. So we're going to go get his perspective and his thoughts that night, so he can, one-on-one with our class, tell you what he's looking for, what does he expect, what does he like to see in your reports, what does he not like to see in your reports. But it's very nice to get his view on what we're doing and if it's helpful for him, and what's helpful for him and what's not. And then we will finish up then that week. I believe it's going to be then on Thursday, November 10th, will be our last night. And on the last night, it's one of my favorite nights because we ask other volunteers to come in and talk to you. I call it a round table, and I call them seasoned volunteers because I didn't like it when I called them old gals. So we call them seasoned volunteers, and they're going to come in that very last night and talk to you and show you that you can survive what we're doing, even though it seems sort of difficult maybe at times or scary at times. They're going to talk to you about cases that they've had, parents that they've dealt with, things that are easy to deal with, things that have been complicated for them to deal with. It's your opportunity to ask them any questions you want to ask them, and they are a wealth of information. It lets you meet some of the people so that if you need help when you're getting your very first case, you can put a name with some of the faces that night, and then that way you can feel like you can call them or get some help from them. So it's a great night, and it's a great way to sort of sum up and finish our training then on November 10th. So our training is held at the Sheriff's Complex off of Cumberland Road. And if you want to come to the training, you would need to email me at atttyshell@att.net, and that should be up on your screen. You can call my office number, which is also up on the screen, 317-776-0480, and sign up to take the class. When you do that, we will also send you specific instructions on exactly where our training room is at the Sheriff's Complex. Just know that that's where it's going to be, though, and that is across the street from the Noblesville High School. That's where we do that's where we do the training. And then there are some nights where I say we go on field trips. The night that we tour the Juvenile Detention Center, we'll talk about, we'll be moving that night. And the night that we go talk with Magistrate Reitz, we'll talk about where we're going to go that night. So I just wanted this monthly segment to just really focus on our training because it's so important. It's so important that we have people from our community that care about kids, that get involved with us and get involved with the kids. So if you want to join us, please feel free to do so. Before I sign off, I would like to make a special thanks to our sponsors, Logan Street Signs and Banners, and they specialize in last minute signage and banners, which would be something that I would order because I'm always last minute. And also Noblesville Trophies, and Noblesville Trophies offers a large range of products, including sports trophies, corporate awards, and in-house embroidery. So thank you very much for letting us come in each month and talk to the public about what it is we do. And until next month, I hope you have a great month. Thank you.